say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Motion item 7.17 is a motion to approve Synergy Wireless Products Incorporated low bid to provide installation of police equipment on one 2023 police Tahoe for an amount not to exceed $22,641 funded through federal forfeiture justice.
Make a motion?
Motion by Councilman Johnson, supported by Councilman Daniels. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 7.18 is a motion to approve downriver cleaning preferred vendor for cleaning services at the Taylor Police Department for amount not to exceed $59,460 funded through TPA building repair and maintenance accounts.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Rose, supported by Councilman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Councilman?
It looks like maybe was there an issue with the current cleaning company doing the specific needs at the police department? That's what it sounds like in here. Okay.
Evening, Mr. Chairman, Council, Mr. Mayor. Yes, the police department's a really unique place, as you can imagine. Security concerns are of paramount importance to us. We have had problems with the last two cleaning crews. The current one that we're asking you to support us on is used throughout downriver, have very good references, and they're familiar with working in police buildings. So we're asking you to approve this for those reasons.
One more question. Is there any issue with the current vendor removing that from the contract?
When the individual bid went out to look for PD only, there was an agreement that they would continue to do the building until a different provider was located, so that's not going to be an issue at all.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Councilman?
And I believe that they used to do the thing there.
Yes, that's correct.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 7.19 is a motion to approve Skynet Innovations for a 3-year agreement to provide managed IT services to the City of Taylor for an amount of $1,332,360 at a per year amount of $444,120 funded through ARPA Fund and IT contractual services.
Motion?
Support.
Motion by Councilman Whitten, supported by Councilman Johnson. Please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. So we do have a presentation by Plant Brand. So this is Marvin Sauer and Dan Quack, who we worked with on this project. Just a quick side note, we opted not to put up on the screen. There's a lot of detail in here. You all have copies, and there's copies on the back table if anybody would like to take a look. Obviously, there's a lot of people here tonight. If you get copies out to somebody who couldn't get a copy, we can certainly do that. And to that end, I will hand it over.
Great. Good evening, Chair, Council, Mayor. Good to be here to talk to you about managed service providers. Really what this is about is trying to enhance the level of service and support being provided by your IT department by utilizing an outside vendor. And the big part of this is trying to come up with a long-term partner, somebody that could work hand in hand with the city over the 3-year period of time. And if you look, one of the things that we did, we met with stakeholders
finalists had the 3 highest scores. And at that point, we had interviewed all 3. And after those interviews, one of the finalists was eliminated, having significantly lower value proposition, minimal city government experience, lack of detail on their ongoing support plan. So then that left us with 2, and did an additional analysis, reference checks, follow-up questions, incorporating project costs, and all other considerations. And that left the final score, after doing another scoring exercise after that, Skynet Innovations being substantially higher than the other vendor that's on the list there. Overall, Skynet had offered a more cost-effective solution, had a much better plan, much more detailed, really provided a long-term benefit in terms of project costs, which was a concern for the city, and that is what led to the recommendation.
Any questions from the council? Oh,
So, does this company work with other municipalities? And, how long have you been working on all this information that you put together, the interviews? What was the total time you spent on this?
I believe we started sometime mid-summer in 2023.
Almost a whole year.
Yeah.
Chairman,
Councilman?
I see what we get for this in the proposal, but I just want to, one, we get an on-site person, correct? Like there's an on-site, like, help desk person that would be on staff at the city?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And then would that also include call-in where people can submit help desk tickets directly to Skynet? So if that individual was busy or not in, that service is available, I don't know if it's 24/7, but during core business hours for help desk support?
Yes.
Good. And we pay this on a monthly basis? Do you know, do we pay it on a monthly basis versus an annual?
Through the chair, it is monthly. I mean, if we wanted to change it to quarterly to make it.
No,
don't think
I
we would.
just wanted to make sure we weren't paying an upfront, like annual
Right.
fee. I
It's
didn't think
scheduled
so.
to be quarterly, and we're putting as much ARPA funds toward that as possible. And we talked during the budget hearings what the plan is, after December 26th.
And then it looks like there is in the contract, I don't anticipate this, but there's some contractual language if they fail to meet service levels, that was one leading into not paying it all up front, and that there is an expectation of service, and that we can evaluate that if they're not meeting that.
Definitely a termination clause that we can point to in a cure period if there's issues, but an ability to exit if the reason for terminations aren't cured over the designated time period.
I wouldn't anticipate, given the level of detail and reference checking, but just, it's a lot of money, obviously, I'm sure we're getting what we're getting. Okay, thank you.
In terms of what they're doing over the 3 years, are you saying is this going to be proprietary, that we're going to have a huge break cost if we go with somebody else in 3 years? You have to think about the AS system, right? So as we go into this, are we then beholden to this company beyond the 3 years?
When we talk about AS400 and other intended improvements, we start getting into the separate project that we're working on, the ERP. So I don't see us engaging in the manner over the course of these 3 years that if for some reason we were to exit the contract, we have some proprietary issues that would be expensive for the city to deal with.
Sure. With the ERP, AS400, all those transitions, do they have a part in that as part of the contract, or would that be our next agenda item with like the billable hours for projects?
The second agenda item is just for, net new type items and items that we know are outside of the scope. They will definitely be here, they will be on site, and, by default will be part of that ERP